everyone looks at marketing as an expense. And it's almost like when things get tough in the business, the first thing they cut is the marketing. That's the last thing you should cut. If lead generation is dropping off or anything like that's happening, you need to adjust your marketing, not stop it. Because if you need more work, well, no one's going to call unless if they don't know about you. Yeah. So marketing needs to be looked at as an investment. And that's how I had to look at this. It's like, well, it's a 12-month commitment. Let's do it for 12 months and we'll see what happens. And then after 12 months, it was like, doesn't make any sense to not do it again because of the results we're getting. But then the backside of that as well was all the work that I'd done to assist with the lead generation. Sort of what I was getting at before, like a lot of people out there can create an ad, get some awareness of you, and the phone will ring. But if you're a one-man show and you're on the roof and your phone rings and you miss it, there's a missed opportunity. If your marketing message says, hey, check out my website, they go to your website and it's terrible and there's no lead generation for them to do the next thing, what a waste of money. So people ask me about advertising and marketing all the time, and I say, don't spend any money on advertising until you work out that pathway. Because you'll get an ad. The easiest part's getting the ad together and to spend some money on Facebook. That's not that hard, right? Because you'll get some awareness. You know, whether you're making the right people aware, that's where you guys help. But doing the ad's pretty easy. But then where do they go? What do they do next? That's the website. That's the phone call. Who's answering it? What do they say? What's your sales process? So then marketing just naturally leads into the sales process. And if you don't have a sales process, you really want to get that sorted straight away. Otherwise, and this is that background that I was talking about, you know, you don't just want to go and spend money on advertising. You need that whole process set up. So then as the leads come through, then you can disqualify, qualify, get them through, have the conversations with the right people, and then you start to get the traction with the growth.
Interesting you mention that, because we had some guys that'll subscribe to that same thought, and we've got other builders who've said to us, start bringing those leads in, and that then allowed them...
forced them to build a system?
It forced them to build a system and allowed them, like, you need to put water through the system to then find out where the leaks are. And, you know, if you don't have that, then you're going to be building in the garage forever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess I agree 100% with what you're saying. Like, you've got to have some sort of system. I think the thing is, a lot of builders, they think, whoa, that's going to take me like a year or two to build that system. It doesn't have to be. It's literally like on the back of a napkin. Could be, eh? I mean, if you just...
It doesn't have to be as robust as what mine is or what Metricon Homes is, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just time to improve it. Optimization is the last stage of systems. You know, like, don't try and make it perfect for start. Just think about, okay, well, they're going to call whose phone they're going to call.
Yeah.
They're going to call mine. Okay, well, I might need to hire another carpenter. So if the phone rings, I can stop and answer. And then when I do answer, what are the 3 things I have to ask for so I can get back to them?
Yeah.
And what am I going to say?
Or can I write out some questions and go,
That's right.
How about I email you in the next 24 hours?
And that's a 10-minute brainstorming exercise and a 4-hour sort of sit down and just map it out and refine it a little bit so that you're happy with it. Yeah. And then go.
Yeah. I think the other thing that some guys overlook is when you say system, like when I said they think it's got to be this big thing. It's like, no, if you've built trust with someone, when they come to the door, they want your system. Whatever it is. If it's on the back of a napkin, if it's starts with the coffee, if it whatever, they just want to do it with you. That's...
Yeah, I think a lot of people see a system as like a physical machine they have to go build almost.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, systems can be heaps of different things. It could be a sign on your website that says, when you come here, do this, this, and this. It could be a documented process that lives on Google Docs or as a Word document, or it could be a manual that you print out. It could be just a piece of software, right? When this person calls, go to CRM and enter details here.
Yeah.
You know, a system is just a way of doing things, so it's repeatable. And
it's very good, often good to define system, because that can be interpreted so many ways.
How did the consultation requests work for you?
That's been really good. Yeah, and the platform that they live on just looks like an extension of our website.
Yeah.
So there's a scent there that matches with what our company is. So then when they do the consultation request, they go through our questionnaire,
Yeah.
That process flows really well, and the questions we've got together are right in line with how we want to ask those questions to sort of get to the root cause of their why.
Yeah.
And we've further refined that just recently with you guys, actually. And once they fill that out, we've got a little video that sort of is actually me just saying thank you for requesting the consultation, and we put the link up to our calendar there, so then they can just book themselves straight into my calendar. And so in the last couple of weeks, that's sort of been rolled out.
Yeah.
And the self bookings have just gone through the roof.
Yeah.
So now I've got leads who I haven't even spoken to. They consume our content, they answer our questions, they send me their plans if they've got any, and they book themselves into my calendar, and all I got to do is pick up the phone and ring them.
Yeah,
you know?
and
that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah. And honestly, sometimes it's too many. Like, so our process is, if they do that, my admin and marketing manager will call them straight away and just make sure they live in Adelaide
Qualify
and
them a bit.
they want to do a job that we do. They don't want to decop a goaler, and that they don't want us to start tomorrow. Just like those real simple yes or no questions that, like, yes, we can help you because you want to do this job, you're in our area, and you want to do it in a time frame that we can actually help you with.
Yeah. So with just for those people that don't, like, if you're watching this video, like, what are we talking about? Just quickly,
what does this
a
video
consult request is when we send people to your website, they consume some of your website and so on, and then we've got a call to action around book a on-site consult. It's a logical next step for the prospect.
Yes.
And then for them, then they've got to request it. But just before they request it, we sell them on the value of an on-site consult, what it means to them, why it's important to them to do this, what they'll get from it. Okay, so it's really valuable. And then they've got to give you, in return, they've got to answer some questions, which is an extensive questionnaire. Some of our clients have 20 pages. Yours is actually quite short, and it's not short by any means.
Yeah.
Where the prospect has to give you information. All right. So just for the people watching this, and then when they request it, then the builder and the prospect will have a consult. Do you know how we came up with that thing?
No.
It's exactly what we're talking about, this whole systems thing. So we had a few builders, and this is probably going back, I don't know, at least 3 years ago or so, where we set up their advertising and everything, made sure, like, changed some of the messaging on their website so that it all resonated when the person came from the ad to the website. And then we just assumed, okay, cool, they'll contact when they're ready. So on the contact form, name, email, phone number, message. And then guess what most people said? I would like to know how much this will cost. What is it's around my budget, or this or that, And it's just because the prospect, they don't know what to put in a contact form like that.
They don't know what to ask. They don't know what information.
It's the first time they're building. Anyway, and then also we had a few builders that they were probably more on site, maybe a little bit less organized than you, didn't have many systems, and the leads would just fall through. They wouldn't get contacted back and so on. And so that's why we went, okay, how do we standardize this whole lead generation process so that every prospect goes through the same process each time? So for some builders that still get phone calls, some builders have removed their phone number from their site, their website, their sign, their vehicle signage and everything, because they're like, I don't want any calls. I just want them to go through the questionnaire. But for those builders that still get calls, we just tell them, okay, cool, yeah, we're happy to build for you. I'm just going to send you a quick questionnaire. So we funnel everyone to the consult request, and it's standardized that whole process of how leads, they enter the system, whether the builder had a system or not. But you're pretty advanced. You've got, you love systems. So we always talk about this. Like you and I, we love systems for some reason. So a bit nerdy there.
That's a really good point you've made, because I never really looked at it, the reason why you came up with that job form. And I suppose that's where you can help someone, who might just be getting started and be like, well, we can help you with the messaging, but then also we can help you implement some really quick wins, get some good systems in place to help standardize your sales process, because that's essentially the first step of the sales process is qualification and making sure they're the right fit. So almost by day one, you plug it all in. I mean, you built it all for me. We brainstormed some questions, what I wanted those to say.
Yeah.
But that was all done with Richard and my website developer. So they all communicated, CC'd me in, it just happened. So that's cool.